The last few years, the music industry, particularly rap, has seen some quite strange things with some of the people they're upholding and putting on. And I mean, clearly talentless people. I mean, I was saying to a friend not long ago that we was talking about music over drinks, right? And I was saying, the music that you have today, back in the 90s, it wouldn't have went nowhere. You remember back in the day, I don't know if you're old enough to remember, I remember back in the 90s, used to have like Dig It or Dish It. That's where, a radio station will break a record or an artist and, they'll send their music in and the DJ will play it and people will vote. They'll call in, dig it, or dish it, and, you get enough votes, you get the dig, you get the push. But that music that we had back in the 90s compared to now, you can't even understand what nobody's saying. Like Young Thug, and I'm from Atlanta. Yeah, I'm always on Cleveland Ave. I'm born and raised in Atlanta. I don't know what the hell Young Thug talking about. The nigga just be making up some stuff. Like even Bone Thugs, I understood 95% of what Bone Thugs said, but now then you got the female rappers. They all of them sluts and bad bees and it's these goddess queens, and you need to worship them, and then you listen to the music. It ain't talking about nothing. But today we gonna check out this review from Panda Press about whose song considered to be a plant, Sexy Red. So we're gonna check it out, man. We're gonna break it down. We're gonna walk it down slow. Let's check it out.
Wild been hiding in plain sight. Sexy Red didn't just go viral. She didn't just pop off. This whole thing was built like a science project, funded, tested, pushed, and controlled by people who ain't never lived a day in the culture they profit off.
But you don't know nothing about it.
And now the experiment is falling apart right in front of us. I'm talking billionaires, tech executives, Apple insiders, industry gatekeepers, all investing heavy into one artist who was never meant to last. So today, I'm breaking down how Sexy Red was engineered, why she got the biggest push in the industry, and what made the whole system crash so fast. And trust me, once you see the blueprint, you're gonna look at the music industry completely different. See, on the surface, it looked like Sexy Red just caught one. Pound Town blew up, Nicki hopped on the remix, Drake gave her a look, the internet grabbed her, and boom, superstar. But let me break this down slow for you. Her rise didn't move like a regular come up. Nah, this moved like a rollout. Like somebody upstairs said, push this one hard. Everything hit at the same exact time. Radio, TikTok, features, interviews, algorithm placement. Like the whole machine suddenly remembered she existed and turned the make her famous switch all the way up. And here's what really caught my attention.
Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
Every controversy she had somehow boosted her more. Teacher drama, viral. School incident, viral. Accidental tape leak, viral again. When chaos keeps benefiting someone, that's when I start going, hold up, bruh. Someone is orchestrating this. Real organic blow-ups don't look this synchronized. This looked intentional. And that's where the story starts. Before y'all even knew who she was, the industry already circled her name in red ink. Rebel Music scooped her up early, right? That part everybody knows. But here's the thing. Labels don't just sign talent. They sign personalities they can monetize. You think they didn't peep the interviews, the wild aura, the shock factor, the say anything, do anything type of energy? Bruh, that's...
Like, for real though, who actually buying these records? Who actually, I get it, somebody is, I know they're not putting up money behind her for nothing, but I know I was seeing a report or something that she couldn't sell out a crowd or something, like a concert or something, at one spot. It was somebody was saying she just a internet rapper or something they was saying, but who is listening to this stuff? This is mindless babble, man. I was in the car today, I came to a red light, and instantly a car pulled up bumping music. And I think it was Lotto, I ain't sure. It sounded like it, I don't know all this stuff, but I don't know, it gotta be some female. I looked and it was two hard legs, two dudes in there bopping to it. I'm like, maybe it's me, man. Maybe, everything done passed me by, man. I mean, I don't know who half these folks is. I mean, I know them from the internet, but I couldn't tell you their music or nothing, man. But like I said, they all pushing this Sexy Red chick, man. Like, I tried to listen to a song for you, like, it's not saying anything. It's just mindless babble about nothing.
Gold to them. That's what they dream about.
You smell that? What is that? What? What's that smell? Opportunity. No, money. Okay. You smell money.
And when her A&R said he knew she was a star the moment she got off the plane, yeah, okay, buddy. Ain't nobody that prophetic. What he meant was she fits the profile we've been looking for. Unfiltered, loud, sexual, controversial, no boundaries. That's the checklist. And when an artist fits that checklist, labels don't just push them, they weaponize them. Sexy Red wasn't discovered. She was picked because she was easy to brand into something extreme. Now here's where it gets crazy. Because Sexy Red didn't just blow up with sexual lyrics. She blew up with a blueprint older than slavery itself. The Jezebel stereotype. The idea that black women are only valuable when they're sexual, reckless, uncontrollable. The industry repackaged that into a 2023 marketing plan. Every rollout step matched the stereotype perfectly. Explicit lyrics, explicit visuals, explicit persona. Controversy is branding. Self-deprecation dressed as confidence. They didn't market her as an artist. They marketed her as a symbol, a stereotype with a beat behind it. And the industry loves this stereotype because it's profitable, cheap to produce, easy to meme, guaranteed to spark arguments, guaranteed to go viral. And they pushed it heavy on the youngest, most impressionable audience. Black girls who didn't know they were watching a character built in a boardroom. And bro, once you really zoom out, it becomes obvious. Every scandal hit at the perfect time, like the universe was running PR for her. But let's be real, this wasn't the universe. This was the industry strategy. Kids singing Pound Town, viral gold. A teacher begging parents to stop playing her music, even more gold. That's heart-wrenching. It's horrifying. It is horrifying. Your 5-year-old daughters are asking to listen to Pound Town. Your 5-year-old daughters are asking, can we hear Pound Town? I'm playing them, and they are asking me, can we hear Pound? And I'm so scared for these little girls today because this is the most insane agenda push I have ever seen in my life. We do freeze dance. You guys' daughters are twerking at 5. 5. Where is the parenting? Where is the boundaries? Where is the help? Y'all are not helping your kids. You're hurting them. You guys are hurting them. You guys are exposing your kids to this raunchy secular music. Why is you guys' 5-year-old daughters singing Pound Town? Why?
They get it from their mama. That's why. I was watching a video earlier today. Some little black girl that was about 4 or 5, maybe 6 years old. That was in the back of a car. It was somebody on the outside of a car recording them with mother. I'm assuming it's the mother. She was on the outside of the car playing some loud rap music, and the little girls were throwing up gang signs. And one of the girls had a little juice in her hand, acting like it was alcohol or something, like she was just drunk or something. So, hey, the agenda worked well. I mean, it was over with before Sexy Red. Let's just be honest. The Sexy Red now, this is just the cherry on top. It's been over with for the last 10, 20 years, man. This ain't nothing new. I've seen the decline and decay of all this I've been watching for the last 30 years. This is nothing new, okay? But like I say, this Sexy Red and what's the other girl name who she be with, dark skinned chick? That went out with Dr. Umar for a little on a date. Y'all know who I'm talking about, her. They pay these talentless people to push agendas. That's why the vast majority of rappers can't rap. They can't. It's some they can, but the vast majority of them can't. Like Lil Yachty. Why is your Lil Yachty even famous? The dude cannot rap. It's all to push agendas, man. These are clown jesters that the people are looking up to, that the kids are looking up to. It's a shame what this young lady was just talking about. Got 5-year-olds talking about listening to Pound Town and twerking. And they say the children of the future. This what the future holds. This lady was in tears thinking about how over it is for the people in this society now.
Why? Showing up to a school smelling like weed, nuclear gold, and that tape leak. Bruh, anyone with a working brain knows that wasn't an accident. The timing was too perfect. The rollout was too aligned. The attention spike was too convenient. And guess what? It worked. The numbers went crazy. Her mistakes were moving like marketing tools. Her controversies were acting like commercials. Nothing slowed her down because everything played into the persona they wanted. Shocking, chaotic, sexual, unfiltered, the exact product they were selling. You don't get punished when you're doing exactly what the machine wants you to do. Now this is where the story flips from rapper blew up to, oh nah, this was coordinated. Gamma didn't just work with Sexy Red, they launched her like a tech product. Larry Jackson, former Apple Music Global Creative Director, left one of the most powerful music platforms on earth, and suddenly, Sexy Red is getting industry-grade distribution, TikTok dominance, and playlisting like she came out the womb with an iPhone contract.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Bruh, Apple-level connections don't just sprinkle themselves over new artists because they're funny and ratchet. This man had access to the top editors, algorithm specialists, label executives, TikTok partnership teams. So when Gamma took over her distribution, everything escalated instantly. And remember, Gamma wasn't some broke startup. They dropped out the sky with $1 billion ready to shape Black culture. $1 billion to influence culture?
Complicated. So pay attention.
Yeah, okay. Now I'm paying attention. When you see a machine like Gamma behind somebody, it ain't an accident. It's a project, a case study, a cultural investment with an expected return. And here's the part everybody conveniently skips over. That $1 billion Gamma bragged about? Yeah, that didn't come from the culture. The main investor was Todd Boehly, a white billionaire who owns the LA Dodgers and Chelsea Football Club. So now pause. A white billionaire worth almost $9 billion funding a company meant to shape Black culture through artists like Sexy Red. And y'all don't see the game? This man don't know nothing about the environments that created hip-hop. He don't know the women. He don't know the struggle. He don't know the trauma. He don't know the stereotypes that ruin lives.
You don't know nothing about us.
But he does know which images generate profit. He does know shock sells. He does know dysfunction goes viral. And when billionaires put money behind something, they ain't betting on empowerment. They're betting on engagement, controversy, and control. The Sexy Red brand was profitable because it was outrageous. And billionaires love outrageous when it passed their pockets. Now let's really talk, because this ain't new. Ice Cube been telling y'all this shit. Labels don't walk in rooms telling artists what to say. They don't gotta. They just make sure the most destructive messages are the ones that get through the gate.
Let's take rap music. Entertainment. Same people who own the labels own the prisons. The records that come out are really geared to push people towards that prison industry.
But they didn't make you write those lyrics.
It's not about making somebody write the lyrics. It's about being there as guardrails to make sure certain songs make it through and certain songs don't. Certain flavors are exposed on the record. Record company guys sit around and tell the artists, this is hot, say that, do this.
Songs about healing, songs about...
See, now I'm going to say this. I'm old enough to remember, like basically my generation, we were the kids that, I don't want to say that, we were the kids that they experimented this gangster rap on. Because I was a kid when NWA came out, when this so-called gangster rap. You know, I remember rap used to be fun, party, like you had Fresh Prince, Will Smith, stuff like that. Then, you know, this gangster rap, this NWA came out, And I never forget. I've talked about this over the years. When I was 12 years old, listening to NWA, they were talking about shooting people, ganking people, drive-bys, and making all these gun noises and gestures in their music. I wanted to shoot somebody at 12. My family, my parents had a gun. I knew where the gun was at. I didn't do it. I was never stupid, never crazy. I never did anything. But I remember me going, sneaking the gun, listening to NWA music, standing in the bathroom mirror, posing with the gun. Music put spirits on you. It put, like I said, now that I'm older, I can see it clearly. It was like I say, music put spirits on you. Just like I remember going to the club when 3 6 Mafia came on. Folks really were trying to tear the club up. So like I said, we were the first kids to be experimenting with this. And looking back on it now, 30 years later, rap music's the worst thing ever. You pushing violence, whoredom, drug use onto your people. And you can tell it's an agenda, and it also make other people look at you, like a criminal, a certain kind of way. We already been criminalized through the media and through the music and movies. So it's people who I wish I could find this video. It's a video. I'm gonna see if I can add this video in and not edit this video. There's a video of a white man asking a black lady. I think that was in another country. It's a black American woman. And it was like, "Oh, you a bad bitch. We want to have you. I want to buy you for my son." And dude, he wasn't trolling. He was dead for real because he thought that he could walk up to a black woman and talk to her like that. Why? Because he sees stuff like this, Sexy Red, all the stuff you see on social media, Instagram. He really thought he could talk to her like that. And she was looking shocked like, why is this white man speaking to me to my buying me? We think you're a bad bitch and buying me for my... And dude was dead for real. He was like an older white man from another country. So they see they looking at all this bad bitch content and they starting to shape their thoughts a certain way about you. So that's another thing is making people think our women are like this when actuality, the vast majority are not. But from the outside looking in, they seem to think so. All right, it's back to it. It's just something that came across my mind just watching this though. Watching Ice Cube say they brought back, me thinking that. Then like another thing, then these rappers, they talk all this stuff. Ice Cube ain't never shot no damn body. These rappers ain't, back in the day, rappers ain't never done that, but these damn rappers stupid as hell nowadays. They shoot people and commit crimes and then go rap about the shit. So these idiots probably have. But back then, the 90s rappers, early 2000s rappers weren't doing all that. Like Future talking about Percocet and Molly and Dirty Sprite. Future don't do none of that, but he got your kids thinking it's cool to do it. They're 20 years old on dialysis because they done drunk lean and Dirty Sprite, and then they need dialysis for a new kidney. So yeah, all these people, man, are plants, okay? Because they weren't giving them money and the fame for nothing. Because these people are talentless, man. But back to the video.
Unity, songs about discipline, songs about self-worth. Yeah, those don't fit the playlist. But lyrics about sex, chaos, disrespect, violence, dysfunction. Oh yeah, that gets greenlit immediately. And Sexy Red fit the algorithm of destruction perfectly. Highly sexual? Check. No filter? Check. Chaos magnet? Check. Children accidentally consuming the content? Double check. This is what Ice Cube meant by guardrails. Not controlling artists, but controlling the path their content travels. And don't forget Candace Owens pointing out the same thing. Billions of dollars behind dysfunction disguised as representation.
There's another headline. This one is in Afro Tech News. It reads, Larry Jackson is on a mission to put $1 billion to work in favor of Black culture with his startup Gamma. In favor of Black culture, he's the face.
They weren't pushing Sexy Red to uplift Black women. They were pushing her because they knew she'd trigger people. go viral, and spark controversy. And controversy equals money. Money equals leverage. Leverage equals social engineering. And this is the part where I realized the game was dirty. They didn't market Sexy Red like an artist. They marketed her like a spectacle, a walking meme, an algorithm trap. Her music wasn't the product. Her behavior was the product. Showing up to a school smelling like weed, the labels didn't care. It boosted the persona. Cussing out a ballet teacher for protecting kids didn't matter. It fed the character. Leaking her own tape, then pretending it was accidental? Please, bruh. That was a brand moment. In today's industry, talent ain't the selling point. Extremes are. People are desensitized. You gotta yell louder, do wilder stuff, push crazier imagery just to be noticed. Go crazy! Go stupid! Go crazy! Sexy Red wasn't chosen for her voice. She was chosen because she could go further than anybody else without questioning anything. And when the industry sees someone willing to go that far, they don't guide them. They don't protect them. They exploit them.
No more protecting them.
Because the extreme becomes the...
Another thing, I was talking to somebody, we have a lot of conversation about stuff like this. And I was saying, rap music is the promotion, the commercial for prison. When you think about it, you have rappers, drill rappers, gangster rappers, stripper rappers, whatever you want to call them, bad bitch rappers. They are promoting an image that little kids are picking up. They know if they put, like, for example, Jay-Z. I'm going to tell you Jay-Z, for example. Who remember back in the early 2000s when Jay-Z stopped wearing streetwear and started, dressing up? What happened? You had everybody in the streets wearing button-downs, jeans, and Rockaway shirts with a fitted Yankees cap. And then before that, when Jay-Z, on the Girls video, at the end of the video, what he do? He was walking backstage, and he took one arm out of his shirt and just had that shirt on with one arm hanging out. And the next week or two, like, what you see? You see everybody rocking the same thing. They do that because they know these people look up to these men and these people, and they know they could push stuff on to the youth that way. So you talking about gangster rap, shooting this, talking about throwing up, where city you from. These kids are listening to it and they want to be a part of it. Like I just said a few minutes ago, when I was a kid listening to the NWA, I wanted to shoot somebody. My head scary ass was too damn scared to actually do it. But just thinking, the feeling came up. Like I said, I was in the mirror with the gun posing, listening to NWA, saying how they just did a drive-by on somebody. So fortunate for me, I wasn't dumb enough to fall down that road. But it's tons of other kids who actually believe this stuff, believe these people are real, and they look up to them. Like I remember back in the 90s, we had one kid killed that state trooper. And he was listening to Tupac. I don't know if y'all remember that. You're old enough to remember that. But one kid, he killed a state trooper, and they blamed Tupac. He had Tupac in the tape deck. So they know what they're doing. They know this. The music push spirits. Like I said, we're in the club. 3-6 come on. This thing you know it's a fight. Lil Jon come on. This thing you know it's a fight. So yeah, it's just interesting. It made me think about my childhood. But right now, I'm gonna move the video along. Fast forward a little bit. I'm gonna put the link in the description box. I'm gonna move the video along right now.
Artistry, intention, women uplifting each other instead of clowning themselves. But Sexy Red's whole image was built on the opposite. She couldn't pivot. She couldn't evolve because you can't suddenly rebrand into self-love when your entire persona was engineered around shock, disrespect, sexual chaos, and reinforcing stereotypes. Other artists adapted. She didn't. Not because she didn't want to, but because her brand wasn't designed to grow. The machine built her for hype, not longevity. And culture moved on without waiting for her to catch up. Let me say this clearly, because this is the real core of the whole situation. Sexy Red was a test subject, a prototype, a sample size for the next wave of cultural manipulation. They wanted to see, how far can we push dysfunction before people push back? How sexual can we make a black female artist before the audience snaps? How disrespectful can we let things get before parents revolt? How fast can we engineer virality? How easy is it to control the culture through one personality? She was the experiment. We were the data points. And the results? The public finally hit the limit. People got conscious. People got spiritual. People got protective over black women. People started calling out stereotypes instead of celebrating them. People started realizing the music industry is playing chess with our identity. And that is why the experiment failed. Not because Sexy Red did anything different, but because we finally woke up. Look, man, when you zoom out, this whole thing stops being a story about Sexy Red and it becomes a story about us, about what we consume, what we normalize, what we defend, and what we call representation just because it's loud enough to get pushed to the front. And I ain't gonna lie, watching her rise was entertaining, but watching the fallout, that part low-key hurt. Because you can see how the industry does certain artists. They hype them up, turn them into a spectacle, drain every ounce of attention from them, then toss them aside the second the chaos stops producing clicks. That's not culture. That's harvesting. That's human exploitation disguised as viral fun. And deeper than that, black women deserve more than this tired stereotype being recycled every decade. Kids deserve better examples than algorithms feeding them dysfunction like it's a personality trait. And we deserve an industry that stops treating our entire identity like a marketing strategy. So yeah, the Sexy Red experiment failed, not because she lost momentum, but because the culture finally hit its limit. And I hope the people in those boardrooms felt that shift. Because if we stop letting billionaires decide what black culture looks like, that's when everything changes. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the experiment didn't fail. Maybe this is just the beginning of something even messier. You tell me, did the industry use Sexy Red, or did they just...
Yeah, man.